Right after my divorce was finalized, I called my father and said, "Fire all 27 employees my former in-laws placed in the company." That same evening, my ex-mother-in-law stormed into my office screaming orders at me. Right after my divorce was finalized, I called my father and said, "Fire all 27 employees my former in-laws placed in the company." My own voice sounded strange in my ears. Calm. Almost detached. As though I were talking about replacing office chairs instead of ending years of manipulation. My father didn't ask me to repeat myself. He simply answered, "Done." Then the line went silent. I stared out the window of my office in downtown Chicago. The courthouse bracelet still wrapped around my wrist. My wedding ring gone only an hour. And for the first time in years, the building below belonged to me again. That same evening, just before 6, my office doors burst open. "You've lost your mind." My ex-mother-in-law, Patricia, marched inside as if she still owned the place. Her expensive heels echoed across the hardwood floor. Her pearl necklace bounced against her navy suit while she pointed one perfectly manicured finger at me. "You don't fire my people without asking me first." My people. Those words. Even after the divorce papers had been signed, even after her son had walked away, she still believed she was in charge. I slowly closed the folder in front of me. "They're not your people anymore. They've worked here for years. They worked here because you demanded it." She slapped both hands onto my desk. "You'll reverse every termination before tomorrow morning." I almost smiled. She was still giving orders. Still convinced I was the frightened young woman she'd bullied into silence years earlier. My mind drifted backward. I had been 28 when I married Daniel. He was charming, attentive, the kind of man who remembered everyone's birthday and never forgot flowers on anniversaries. At least that's what everyone believed. 3 weeks after our honeymoon, Patricia invited herself into our home. "I've already spoken to your father," she'd announced while sipping coffee in my kitchen. "The company needs experienced people." Experienced. That became her favorite word. Within 6 months, cousins, neighbors, old church friends, golf buddies, and even Daniel's college roommate all had executive jobs inside my family's manufacturing company. 27 people. None interviewed. None qualified. Every hiring decision somehow became a family obligation. Whenever I objected, Daniel squeezed my hand beneath the dinner table. "Don't embarrass Mom." Those 4 words became the soundtrack of my marriage. "Don't embarrass Mom." When I questioned suspicious expenses, "Don't embarrass Mom." When another relative appeared on payroll, "Don't embarrass Mom." When Patricia rearranged board meetings without consulting me, "Don't embarrass Mom." Little by little, the company my grandfather had built in Indianapolis stopped feeling like ours. Even my own employees began asking Patricia for permission before making decisions. I became the CEO only on paper. Around midnight most nights, I'd wander into the kitchen of our suburban house, open the refrigerator, and just stand there in the pale white light. Not because I was hungry, because it was the only quiet place where nobody expected anything from me. Daniel would find me. "You're overthinking." Maybe I was. Or maybe I was watching my life disappear one polite compromise at a time. The first Real crack appeared during last year's board meeting. I remembered every detail. The smell of burnt coffee. The projector humming. Rain tapping against the conference room windows. I'd presented a modernization plan after spending months researching automation. Before I finished, Patricia interrupted. "I've already discussed this with everyone." Everyone. Meaning everyone except me. Then she looked around the room. "We've decided not to move forward." The board nodded. Not because they agreed. Because nearly half of them either worked for her, owed her favors, or feared losing their jobs. Even my own husband avoided my eyes. That night I cried quietly while late-night television flickered in the living room. Daniel never came downstairs. I said. He texted from the bedroom. "You made Mom uncomfortable today." Something inside me finally broke. Not loudly. Not dramatically. Just quietly. Like ice cracking beneath someone's feet. I hired a forensic accounting firm without telling anyone. 3 months later, they uncovered everything. Inflated salaries. No-show jobs. Company credit cards paying for vacations. Consulting contracts that produced absolutely nothing. Millions of dollars. Not stolen directly. Just slowly drained. Enough that nobody noticed until someone finally looked. My father looked at every page. He didn't raise his voice. Didn't curse. He simply leaned back in his chair and whispered, "I failed you." I shook my head. No. They counted on me staying quiet. The divorce happened faster than anyone expected. Daniel assumed I'd negotiate. I said, I asked for nothing except complete separation. No house. No investments. No alimony. Just my freedom. His attorney actually looked confused. Then came today. One phone call. 27 termination notices. Every employment agreement allowed immediate dismissal. My grandfather had insisted on that clause decades earlier. I'd never understood why. Till now. Patricia circled my office like an angry storm. You've destroyed families. No, I answered quietly. I stopped letting families destroy mine. You think investors will support this? They already have. Her face changed. Just slightly. Enough for me to notice. She hadn't known. This morning, before court, I'd held one final board meeting. Independent directors. Outside auditors. Major shareholders. Every document had been presented. Every fraudulent hiring decision documented. The vote to restructure passed unanimously. Patricia wasn't invited. Neither was Daniel. She suddenly sounded uncertain. Daniel said, "He said you couldn't do this." I looked at her for a long moment. Then I opened a drawer and placed one folder in front of her. Emails. Bank transfers. Internal approvals. Every signature. Including Daniel's. He approved every unauthorized expense, I said. Her hands trembled. No. He wouldn't. He also told investigators you instructed him. Silence. Heavy. Complete. The kind that presses against your ears. For the first time since I'd met Patricia, she looked old. Not powerful. Not intimidating. Just tired. She slowly lowered herself into the chair across from me. I protected my son. I nodded. I know. I wanted him to have security. And you taught him someone else should always pay for it. He stared at the paperwork. Her lips moved. But no words came. Finally she stood. Without another argument. Without another order. Without another threat. She simply walked toward the door. Halfway there, she stopped. I don't know who he is anymore. I looked down at my desk before answering. Neither did I. After she left, I remained alone inside the office. The city lights shimmered beyond the glass walls. Cleaning crews rolled quiet vacuum cleaners through empty hallways. Somewhere below, a train rattled across the tracks. I remembered being a little girl, sitting beside my grandfather during summer vacations while he explained every machine in the factory. He never talked about profits first. He talked about responsibility. Businesses aren't buildings, he'd tell me. They're promises. I'd forgotten that for a while. Or maybe I'd allowed too many louder voices to drown his out. Around 3 a.m, I drove back to my townhouse. The streets were nearly empty, the air cool through the open window. I made coffee even though I didn't need it. I stood in my quiet kitchen, opened the refrigerator and smiled at the familiar white light spilling across the floor. 4 years that light had witnessed my doubts. Tonight it witnessed something else. Peace. The divorce hadn't broken me. It had uncovered the woman I'd been before fear became a habit. Tomorrow there would be lawsuits, angry phone calls, gossip, and difficult decisions. But tomorrow also belonged to me. And for the first time in a very long time, so did my future. If this story touched your heart or reminded you that courage can change everything, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Your support truly means the world to us. Thank you so much for watching and we'll see you in the next story.